In addition to the last video, we want to take a look at how we can create diagrams within Canva. The diagrams are part of the Elements section of the Canva Editor, but it was too complex to include it in the last video. So I wanted to record some extra video for you. At first, we have to go back to the standard overlay, which means that we remove our money keyword, and afterwards we can click on elements, and then we can click on tables, for example, if we want to create different tables. In this context, we want to create charts. And the good news are, these charts are interactive, which means that it's not a typical design process where you have to add, for example, different bar elements, but instead you can simply enter your numbers, for example. Let's take a look at it in a more detailed way. I will remove this element. So we have our complete design for different diagrams. At first, you have to ask yourself which kind of diagrams you want. For example, bar charts, line charts, pie and donut charts, area charts, etc. You can see that a lot of different diagrams are available, and you can use them according to your needs. Maybe we start with a rather simple chart. For example, a progress bar. I can click on it, and now this diagram on this bar is added to my design. And now I have different options. Just a quick reminder, we are not going to talk about all of these functions because this is the topic of the next module. But I will show you how you can adopt these charts to your needs. You can, for example, enter the percentage. Let's say we want a progress bar with a 50% or with 50% of progress. Then you can see that certain changes are taking place. Let's do it with, for example, 90%. So you can perfectly see that this diagram on this chart is interactive. This is the first change that you can do. You can also change the size of this progress bar. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller if you want. And if you want, you can also activate the percentage label, which means that the percentage can be found right next to it. If you've removed this menu, you can also click on Edit, and afterwards this menu pops up again. And you can also say whether the endpoints should be rounded or not. I mean, just take a look at it. This is not rounded, or well, this is rounded. This is not rounded. So I hope you see a little difference at least. And this is exactly what we can do with the progress bar. But you already saw that there are more charts available to us. And each chart, each bar has its own settings. For the progress bar, it was very simple. But when talking, for example, about this plot, you will quickly realize that a lot of numbers, or that more numbers, more effort is needed in this context. It might seem more complex or more complicated, but please do not worry. because at the end of the day, you only have to insert the specific numbers. And all the rest, everything else, is done by Canva automatically. You do not have to create a design. You do not have to add text elements, which we will do in the next video. You do not have to create a table on your own or a bar chart, for example. This is done by Canva automatically. Your only job is to insert the numbers that you want to have. Let's take another example. For example, the pie chart. I can click on Edit so that I'm able to insert my numbers. I can also make it bigger. And now I can write down, for example, well, in this context, I want to have the number 20, for example. And you can see certain changes are taken place. You can also import data, for example, by using Google Sheets or by using Microsoft Excel, just to give an example. You can also make more changes when it comes to the design and the structure of your pie chart. Just click through it, just take a look at it, and then you can make the edits according to your needs. Each diagram has its own settings, as I already said. If you have any questions modifying or adjusting the settings, please feel free to contact me. For example, this one, we need some numbers. We can also customize it if we want by changing the axis, for example, or by changing the legend, which means we can activate it, we can also deactivate it. But at the end of the day, if you understood how these diagrams work, it is very, very easy to add them to your designs.